Hi everybody, it's Andy Barrar, Handy Andy from handyandymedia.com, and today I'll be doing a review for Best Buy's blog on a pair of outdoor speakers. Actually, two pairs of outdoor speakers. We're looking at the Magnat Symbol X 160 and the 130. These are a pair or pairs of outdoor Bluetooth speakers that are wired. In this review, we're going to take a look at the design of these Symbol X speakers. We're going to discuss really different types of applications that you could use it for. Of course, we're going to talk about the sound quality. I'm going to give you the opportunity to also listen to it for yourself because I got some original music that I can play on YouTube. And then finally, we'll discuss who is this for and why you would get it or wouldn't get it. So without further ado, sit back, relax, get your popcorn ready, folks, and cue the intro. So let's go ahead and start with the design of the Symbol X 160 and 130. Just by looking at it, you can see the real big difference is the size of the two speakers. They also come in black and white, and if you've ever seen a speaker, it looks very, very conventional. However, it is built for the elements. There is a plastic housing around the speaker, and on the front you have this corrosion resistant front grille. Now the Symbol X also has an IPX5 designation. That means it's going to be good in the sun, in the rain, in the snow, and of course even in wind. So all throughout the year you can have these installed outside without having to worry about them or having to bring them in. Now I did call them outdoor speakers, but you could easily use this indoors as well. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. Now there's an interesting design feature. On the front, you can see there is a magnet logo and you can actually turn it and it feels, you can see the power of the magnet. However, it is permanently attached to the front. So unlike real magnets, you can't take it off. Now, when we go to the back, that's where you're going to find the connection terminal, and they got gold-plated connection terminals for both the red and black, so it's really easy to distinguish between the two. If you've ever connected wired speakers, this should be very, very familiar to you. On the back, you're also going to find a little slot, and that's where you can mount the speakers onto the wall, and it does come with all the accessories that you need to be able to mount it. And the great thing about when you mount it is that you can adjust it horizontally and vertically, so you can get that perfect angle that you need for the speaker, get it up nice and high away from people, but still be able to fill any kind of space with sound. Now let's discuss the sound quality of these speakers. I lucked out. I actually have an old amplifier. I was going to sell it until these speakers came. So thankfully I didn't sell it before reviewing these speakers. And I connected this old amplifier with some speaker wire to the four speakers, both the 160 and the 130. Then I connected my tablet to that because this is a wired speaker and I did want to get a music source and I didn't want to use the radio because I want you to be able to hear the sounds. So what I did is I used some original music that I recorded and produced about 10 years ago. I was a music producer for a long period of time. So I used this original music because what's the point of doing a speaker review if you can't listen to the speaker? Now, the first thing I always do when I do review speakers is I want to hear how it sounds at max volume. Not because that's how I like to listen to music. I want to be able to hear if there's any kind of distortion, especially about the way it was designed. A lot of cheap speakers, when you crank it up, you can hear this distortion and just everything about it. But the casing has a kind of a low resonance to it, the plastic casing that it's housed in. So even at max volumes, I did not hear any kind of distortion. In terms of the overall sound quality, it does sound good. However, I've been reviewing so many Bluetooth speakers and sound bars as of late. So one thing that I kind of noticed when I was listening to this music is that you don't get that low end. You know, that kind of low end that you only can get with a subwoofer? That is absent on this, and it should be no surprise because there is no subwoofer. The mid-range and the highs are very, very good. To be honest with you, after reviewing these pair of speakers, the Symbol X, really reminded me of monitor speakers that you would see in a studio because the music that I was listening to sounded exactly how it sounded when I was in the studio recording it. And that's because it's kind of tuned like a monitor. So it's not accentuating bass or highs. It's a very kind of a flat frequency response. And it's perfect for mixing, because if you can make your music sound good on these speakers, theoretically, they should sound great on any speaker. Now, what I want you to do is listen for yourself to hear about the sound quality and what I was talking about, because I can go on and on talking about how it sounds, but the proof's in the pudding. So why don't you go ahead and listen to yourself to hear how these speakers sound, two pairs all side by side with each other. So as you can hear in that clip, it does get very loud. The sound is very, very clear. Now the question is, who is this for and what kind of applications would you use this? Well, number one, you're going to need an amplifier. So if you already have a pre-existing amplifier, these speakers will connect to it and you'll be up and running in no time. It really is, in my opinion, even though they say you can use it indoors, you could use them as bookshelf speakers inside, you could use it as studio monitors. I really think these shine outdoors. And in my backyard, I got this kind of a back deck, and if I was to permanently install these, I'd be installing them up in the rafters. I would mount it properly, run the speaker cable nicely and hide it. Because really that's the hardest part of the installation, is when you do install these speakers. My one tip is to make sure you do a good job doing your best to try to hide that speaker cable. You can either do it up on the ceiling, down the walls, go through walls, but that really is the crux of it, is to try to hide that speaker cable. These speakers are really for a permanent installation. So if you have an outdoor space like I do on my back deck, you could install these in each corner, have it all connect to an amplifier, and then you're off to the races, and you're going to have a speaker that you could use 365 days a year. Anytime you're outside, and you never have to worry about putting them inside. My only recommendation is, if you're going to use them outside, don't get the white speakers, because I have a white speaker outside, and let me tell you, that thing collects dust. It loves to collect dust. So if you do get the Magnat Symbol X speakers, whether it's the 160 or the 130, and you want to use it outdoors, get the black version. That is my biggest recommendation. Anyways, folks, if you are in the market for outdoor speakers, these ones are going to do the job. They're kind of rugged. It's like no bells and whistles. It's like meat and potatoes. It's going to do exactly what you want it to do, and you'll never have to worry about it again if you get it installed. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Magnat Symbol X 160 and 130. If you did, smash that like button, like this video, and leave your comments below. If you want more information about your boy, hit me up on my website, handyandymedia.com. I also have a YouTube channel where I do a lot of DIY and how-to, and of course tech as well. So you want to hit that up and subscribe too. Andy Barrar, Handy Andy, signing out. We'll see you again next time.